The road we're on is paved in Garth.
Come along on the journey.
As we explore
Garthology.
Think of it more as a conversation. I like that. So if this is truly a conversation, then I say let the conversation begin. Showtime!
Hey guys, it's Deb.
And I'm Pete.
And I'm Jess.
Welcome to Season 3, Episode 17 of Garthology. For today's episode, we are continuing our celebration of the 2-year anniversary of Garth's Drive-In Concert. As discussed in our previous episode, the globe was hit with the COVID-19 pandemic in March of 2020. Because of the pandemic, Garth decided to partner with Encore Live and present a one-night-only, one-of-its-kind drive-in theater concert. It's estimated that over 350,000 people nationwide saw the drive-in concert. Sad to say, I was not one of them. And the reviews were overwhelmingly positive. Most people, our listeners included, were just happy to experience something outside of their homes again after much of the country had locked down because of the pandemic. Although Garth didn't perform live for the drive-in concert, which would have been nearly impossible because of the different time zones involved, many felt it was just the taste of normal life that they needed at the time. To continue this celebration, let's return to our listener stories, as well as hear from Jess on what their drive-in experiences were. Jess, who do you have for us?
Yvonne Torres says, "My husband, daughter, and I went. It was so fun. It was great to sing along and enjoy the music, so needed in the start of the pandemic." Absolutely. I feel like it was great timing on his part. Renee Marie Spencer says, "So me, my son, my sister, and my mom went to this, and when I seen that Garth was doing what he can during the pandemic to put a smile on all of his fans, near and far, to just forget all those worries for a little while, well, that's just people loving people." Absolutely, well said.
Cindy Earhart commented, "I went with my husband and neighbors to Devlin, New York, to the drive-in there. Everyone there made a great time, like a huge tailgate." Diane Nelson posted, "Went to the one in Glendale, Arizona. It felt to me like the live concert because all of the people were singing along."
Charlene Chwala emailed us some pictures and wrote in and said, "On June 27, 2020, my roommates Marie, Laura, and I went to the Garth Brooks Drive-In Concert in Waukesha, Wisconsin. It was an awesome relief to be able to be by people without being by people and enjoying music together. Some were sitting in the back of the pickup trucks enjoying the music, while the rest of us were sitting in lawn chairs by our cars. There was a lot of singing and dancing and much needed relief during COVID. I was so glad to get to go and breathe a little fresh air and come together while listening to some great music. We were all loving one another while being part of a great music-filled night that only Garth could pull off. Thank you so much for this happy memory during a very hard time. You are the greatest and always will be in my heart. Thank you, Garth."
So I went to this with my sister and brother-in-law, and it was great. The weather was great. It was beautiful. It was a great night out. It was so much fun, like other people have said, to kind of see everyone on their tailgates and just hanging out. We took lawn chairs and sat outside, and they opened the full drive-in, all the snack bar and everything, and it was just like a great experience to go and be able to do that. The thing that I remember most about ours, though, unfortunately, is that the drive-in here in Tulsa, where I went, is kind of right in the middle of a neighborhood. And so I guess because they're used to having movies there that don't need to be super loud, it's not a big deal. But because it was a concert, it was very, very low. And somehow the sound was regulated. Like, we took a Bluetooth speaker and you could not turn it up. Like, it basically was quieter than your car radio. Like, you couldn't have normal conversation or you couldn't hear the music. So everyone was kind of like you couldn't get far away from your car, really. You couldn't get, sometimes people will sit up close on the lawn or whatever. And, and being a concert, we thought like, oh, people will crank it up, everyone's stereos will be going and everyone can sing along. And, if you sang along, that's great, but then you're not going to really hear, like he would speak between songs and we couldn't really hear what he was saying because it was so quiet. And I know that from hearing other people's experiences, I know that was our drive-in and their rules or whatever. It was not across the board. But I felt like it put a little bit of a damper on it for me, but the concert itself was great and he was having such a good time. Like, it was so fun to watch. And it was just fun to see that many Garth fans in one place. I love that. I mean, I think it's true anytime you go to a concert and see all those people, but something about like seeing them sitting in their own car, it was like tailgating before a concert kind of, but with a pre-show show. But so much fun. I did have a good time and would absolutely do it again.
Oh, yeah, I would have been disappointed if, now granted, I wasn't able to go because I was on a work trip, unfortunately. So all I can do is listen to all of you all and try to live vicariously through you. But oh, I would have been so sad because I would have wanted to turn it up like the loudest possible sound. So yeah, I would have been sad if I couldn't turn it up as loud as I wanted to.
Yeah. All right, well, enough about my experience. Let's get back to some of our listeners. So, Pete, who do you have for us?
Diane Engel wrote, made the front page of our local newspaper in Knoxville News Sentinel. Reporter Sal Young just added to the fun, shooting video, laying face down on the ground. Hundreds of pictures and standing with my husband and saying to us, Garth Brooks really needs to meet you two to really know what huge fans you are and have been since the beginning. Of course, we couldn't agree more, and God knows how hard we've tried. And she included pictures from the newspaper article as well as one of her cherished official drive-in t-shirts. Karen Braden wrote, my sister, my niece, niece's husband, 2 nephews, and myself went to the one in the Dayton area of Ohio. It was awesome. Everyone singing and really enjoying themselves.
Mike Amos wrote to us, my daughter and I made a couple-hour drive and went to the show in Albemarle, North Carolina. It was a hot evening, but at least it didn't rain. There were a couple of rude people in front of us sitting on the roof of their truck, and they did refuse to move. It impeded our view, so my daughter didn't have such a great time. Even though you were supposed to sit in front of your car, at least at our theater, I just rolled with it and moved my little lawn chair about 10 feet away and enjoyed the show. There were a whole lot of drunk, rowdy people, but it was fun and something different, especially when things were so locked down at the time.
Nicole Lambert Gasparex, I'm so sorry if I said that wrong, but she included some pictures and said, yes, my whole family went to one in Lafayette, Louisiana at the Cajun Field. It was our first drive-in concert and our 15th wedding anniversary. We had such a great time. It was so much fun to sing along and enjoy the music. We needed this getaway, especially during the pandemic. Love one another. Everyone's pointing that out, and I love that. I love that they got kind of, I feel like, what Garth's point was in doing that at the time that he did it, which is pretty amazing.
Right? It really is. It made us all feel that way, and I love that it did that for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Deb Dumas wrote, it was so nice to get to see him and listen to him for a few hours. I believe it's always going to be special. Thousands of people went. As you can see, I've been asking him to make a DVD since it first got done. I post it every week. Someday he will answer the update. It was great having that time with my son. He's been a fan since he was little. He was on Inside Studio G one time, and she posted some great pictures too. And she posted an awesome video of the Inside Studio G moment. So what do you got for us, Aunt Deb?
Our final submission on the Believers page was from Cade Wilbur. Cade wrote, we drove 3 hours south to Mount Pleasant, Utah to see Garth's Drive-In Concert. Me, 3 of my sons, my oldest son turned 18 the next day, my sister, and a family friend. The best part was at the end of the Thunder Rolls when there was real thunder from a storm off in the distance, as if on cue. I'd do it all again tomorrow. Our final email submission was from Mary DeLuca. She included some awesome pictures of her and her family at both the drive-in and a recent stadium show. And she wrote, Just wanted to let you know that due to the drive-in concert, Garth has a new young fan. We attended the drive-in concert in Bridgeview, Illinois, but first we drove to pick up our grandchildren in Wisconsin, as they had never been to a drive-in, let alone a concert. They didn't know what to make of it as their grandma was singing and dancing. We attended as 3 generations: Papa, Grandma, Uncle Joey, and the grandkids. Our local country radio station was there taking pictures and snapped one of us as a group. My granddaughter liked Garth and his music, her first exposure. We kept telling her that this is nothing like a real concert, that she would have to go with us one time to see Garth live and to feel his energy and experience the crowd all singing loudly. Well, when the concert at Notre Dame was announced, I asked her if she wanted to go, and her immediate answer was yes. But Grandma, I need cowboy boots and a shirt. My husband and I were fortunate to attend both the Friday and Saturday night concerts in Nashville. Well, a stop at the boot store and Garth's new store on Broadway was all we needed to fix her up to be in style for Notre Dame. She was so excited to bring a poster and display it as well. Even though her requested song, All American Kid, was not sung, she had a fantastic time and wants to go to another Garth concert with Grandma. It was really a great way to bond with my granddaughter and introduce her to my all-time favorite entertainer, Garth. Hopefully, the future will warrant us making more memories together at Garth concerts. It was surely an interesting way to introduce her to his music at the drive-in. Our final submissions came into our Garthology Facebook page. This story is crazy. Benjamin Johnson wrote, in summary, a glitch in Ticketmaster, and I ended up with nearly 10% of the tickets for the drive-in closest to us. I immediately put them on the third-party apps. I didn't want to spend $5,000 to see a drive-in show. So Ticketmaster pulled the tickets back, even the ones I had sold. I made some calls, sent some tweets, and luckily got everything situated before the show. Benjamin, I am so glad that got worked out, because I can't imagine what you saw when all of that was happening and how you felt. And I would have been freaking out if I was you. So I'm so glad that worked out. $5,000 for a drive-in.
Could you imagine trying to explain that to your significant other?
Yeah.
What's this charge for? Oh, I bought 10% of all the drive-in spots around us to go see Garth Brooks.
Sure that we had lots of space around us.
All options, no problem. We're going to figure out who has the best concessions, and we're going to that one. What are you going to do with the rest of the tickets? No idea.
That's amazing. And our last submission is from Lori Henneman. Lori wrote, my sister and I went and we had a blast. We were the first ones in line and got front row. Now, only if I could get front row to a live show, that would be amazing. I always see his live shows from the backside. Fingers crossed one day I might get lucky to see him front and center. Oh, Lori, I feel you. I know that. Pete and I have been high up. We've been down low.
Lori, I got the perfect answer for you. Just become best friends with my crazy Aunt Deb. You'll get front row seats somehow.
I have been lucky. Twice now. Twice. Crossing my fingers for 3 and 4 times. Yep. That's it for our 2-year anniversary celebration of Garth's drive-in concert. Thanks so much for joining us in remembering this much-needed break in 2020. Have you checked out our website at garthology.com yet? If not, stop by today and check out our past episodes and bonus content. And remember to subscribe to our podcast on your podcast platform of choice. If you listen on Apple Podcasts, it's been a while since our last review. So if you get the chance, please stop by, hit that 5-star button, and leave a review to encourage others to listen. Finally, be sure and share us with everyone you know. That way you can help your friends in low places become Garthologists too.
Yeah, and speaking of friends in low places, we are on the social media platforms. If you guys use Facebook, we are at www.facebook.com/GarthologyCast. If you guys are on Instagram, Twitter, and now we're on TikTok, you can find us at GarthologyCast there. We do appreciate the interactions, the likes, the tweets, the shares, the retweets. And of course, if you guys ever have any questions or podcast ideas, feel free to direct message us. We do go through the messages. We do take the time to respond, as most of you guys know. And we would love the interaction. So we appreciate your support there. And if you feel the need to, feel free to jump on over and visit our socials. We would appreciate the support.
Join us for our next episode of Garthology, where you'll get to hear the inside scoop on my personal Garth playlist. That will be Season 3, Episode 18, and will be available on your podcast platform of choice on July 17th. Until then,
this has been Season 3, Episode 17 of Garthology. And I'm Deb.
I'm Pete.
And I'm Jess. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Finish it! Finish it!
Bloopers.
Join us. He has impeccable timing.
That was awesome.
Went to the one in the Daytona area of Ohio. It was awesome. Everyone singing and really enjoying themselves.
No, Dayton, not Daytona.
Oh, shit. What is it, Daytona?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm Pete. And I'm Jess.